A very good morning to my dear children. Today, we are going to revise useful microorganism. An introduction to harmful microorganism will be done. The picture is of useful microorganism, Lactobacilli, which is a minute rectangular shaped anaerobic bacteria. They convert lactose sugar present in the milk into lactic acid and thus produce yogurt from the milk. They also used in the fermentation process. The uses of lactobacilli: it is used in the production of following substance: milk products, cider, cocoa, pickles of vegetables, etc., wine and some types of bread, probiotics, leavened fodder offered to domestic cattle, treatment for abdominal discomfort. Rhizobia is a symbiotically living bacteria with the leguminous plants like beans, sweet pea, soya bean, etc. Rhizobia living in root nodules supply nitrates, nitrites and amino acids to that plant and in exchange get energy in the form of carbohydrates and space to stay in the root nodules. Thus, their mutually beneficial relationship is called symbiosis. Due to the nitrogenous compounds made available by Rhizobia through nitrogen fixation process, the beans and pulses become rich in proteins. The picture here is of another useful microorganism. Any guesses? Exactly right, yeast. Yeast is a heterotrophic unicellular fungus having eukaryotic cell. It grows on the carbon compounds. Yeast cells are colorless and oval. Some of the cells show small round buds attached to it. Yeast reproduces asexually by budding. Yeast cells carry out fermentation during process of obtaining its nutrition. It converts carbohydrates into alcohol and carbon dioxide. During the baking of bread, the same fermentation process of the yeast is used. Many other processes involving fermentation also involve use of yeast. Bio-remediation. Yarrowia lipolytica is also a yeast species which is used to absorb the toxins released during production of palm oil. It is also used to absorb heavy metals and minerals released in industrial processes. Saccharomyces cerevisiae is also a yeast species used to absorb arsenic, which is one of the harmful pollutants. Alkaniovorex is the bacteria species used to clean up marine oil spills. Production of alcohol. Alcohol is produced along with sugar in sugar factories. Molasses are rich in carbohydrates. They are fermented with yeast called Saccharomyces. By this process, ethanol, C2H5OH, is obtained as a main product and esters and other alcohols are obtained as secondary products. Ethanol is a smokeless and high-quality fluid. Spirit and other alcohols can be obtained from ethanol. Besides molasses, maize, barley and other grains are also used for industrial production of ethanol. The grape juice contains sugars such as glucose and fructose. This juice can be fermented with the help of yeast to produce the alcohol which is later converted to wines. Antibiotics. Some bacteria and fungi produce carbon compounds which can destroy or prevent the growth of harmful microorganisms. Such compounds are called antibiotics. Antibiotics have controlled many bacterial diseases such as tuberculosis and typhoid and thus have created revolution in the medical field. Broad spectrum antibiotics. The antibiotics that are useful against a wide variety of bacteria are called broad spectrum antibiotics. Example: ampicillin, amoxicillin, tetracycline, etc. Narrow spectrum antibiotics. The antibiotic used to destroy a definite and known microorganism is called narrow spectrum antibiotics. Example, penicillin, gentamicin, erythromycin, etc. Penicillin. Penicillin is an antibiotic obtained from a fungus, Penicillium. It is used for controlling the bacterial infections caused by Staphylococci, Clostridia, Streptococci, etc. The bacterial infections of the ear, nose, throat, skin, disease like pneumonia and scarlet fever can be best treated by penicillin-containing drugs. Antibiotics should be taken with precaution and only when prescribed by a doctor. Very important to understand. The National Institute of Virology, established in 1952 in Pune, carries out research related to diseases like measles, jaundice, fever, and diseases of lungs. Their work is supported by World Health Organization. Let's have an introduction to scientist. Alexander Fleming discovered Penicillium fungus while observing Staphylococci culture on 3rd September 1928. The penicillin is the first antibiotic in the world. Incurable diseases are controlled due to advent of antibiotics. When Birmingham proved that the anaerobic bacteria Clostridium botulinum is responsible for food poisoning. Ida Bengtsson conducted research on the toxin responsible for gas, gangrene, and the antitoxin useful for treating it. She herself contracted the infection of typhus disease while conducting research on it. Then also she continued the research work. She was honored with the Typhus Medal in 1947. The harmful microorganism fungi. Microscopic spores of fungi are present in the air. After acquiring suitable moisture, they start growing on any kind of organic, that is carbon matter. The fungal hyphae, which are fiber-like, penetrate deep into the supporting material to obtain nutrition and start reproducing by spores. Various species of fungi grow on food items like murabbas, jam, sauce, etc. Some fungi absorb nutrients from the food for growth and reproduction. In the process, they produce mycotoxins. Mycotoxins are toxic substances that may cause food poisoning. Food contaminated with fungus is thus unfit for consumption. Clostridium is the anaerobic bacteria causing spoilage of cooked food. These rod-shaped bacteria produce bottle-shaped endospores in adverse conditions. There are about 100 different species of this bacterium. Some are free living in the soil, whereas some live in alimentary canals of humans and other animals. Other harmful microorganisms. Some pathogenic bacteria, viruses, protozoa, and fungi are also responsible for causing many infective diseases of human beings. Thank you so much. Stay safe.